About 2 weeks ago, I did this live stream where we brewed with this device, the Timemore B75 Crystal Eye. It's actually a dripper that I've come to really kind of like. I like the style of it. I like the way it looks, and everything about it has been fairly nice. Thank you, Kuni, for sending this to me. I appreciate that. But one of the problems with this is that the number of specific paper filters, which kind of look like the little cupcake cups, is limited. And if you look on Amazon, they don't really have a listing for this, or at least that I could find. So finding more it seems like it's going to be a little bit difficult, but they do fit really nicely. They do fit really nicely, as you can see. Good morning to you, Mom. How are you? And I remarked in the video while we're talking that I was running out, that I was thinking maybe I need to start slowing down using it because we're going to run out. And that's when Anton commented that, oh, you could use the Kalita filters. And I was like, oh, Kalita filters. We'll have to try that out. So that's what today's video is about. We're going to try the Kalita filters in this Timemore B75. So what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. How was your weekend? Kioni, aloha to you. Moist Toenails, hello. How is everything out there? Everyone's been doing well. Hope your weekend was good. My weekend was pretty all right. What did I do? Yesterday, I was just kind of chilling. Actually, it was very fluid. It was very fluid. Like I had all these plans, and everything just kind of changed and very fluidly, and just kind of rolled with it. So it was really actually quite a nice time. Yesterday had beautiful weather here in Baltimore. Today is a little bit more fall type weather, cooler, windier. You can see the leaves blowing around more as they're coming off the trees in different colors. So very pleasant this time of year. So when Anton was like, hey, you gotta get the Kalita. So what I have here are the Kalita 185 filters. And these are really popular for their wave brewers, as you probably are already aware. The problem is that these 185s are fairly large. These are for, 4-cup brewers. And if I took this and I shove this in here, it'll probably work. Actually, I haven't tried it yet. So we could get it to work, right? That's not very nice. That's kind of crazy. And I was thinking, oh man, what are we going to do now? I was thinking that for today's show, I was just going to take some scissors and cut it. But then I decided, I've been to Japan a lot, and every time I go there, I'm always buying all kinds of stuff. I wonder if I might have bought the 155 filter, which is actually the filter that Anton specified. He did say in his comment, use the 155 Kalita because that will fit. So I was like looking around, and I found this. And this is the correct filter that Anton was talking about. This is the Kalita Wave Filter 155. Kioni says, came up to Krung Tiep, and the biggest downpour of the... Oh my goodness. Probably signaling the end of the rainy season here. Oh, that's good. That's good. Here, I'm glad to hear it's hopefully ending now. So this is our 155 filters, and these are, as you can see here, there says here 1 to 2 cup. I don't know what the 50 means. 50 milliliters. My Chinese is very poor. But as you can see, this is an unopened box, and I'm going to open it from the side so that there is a punch out here that you can use to use the flap, but you know what? It's too pretty for that. So let's just pull it out this way. Oh, that's nice. It comes like packaged. And then we'll pull one filter out. Or we'll pull the stack out. We'll pull the whole thing out. Okay, here it is, 155. That's Japanese cap. No, these are, yes, it's Japanese, but aren't those Chinese characters kanji, right? Isn't that right? I don't know. Anyways, we're going to pull this out here. Let's pull this out. All right, look at that. Oh, actually, that does look very much like, oh, yeah. That's, I would dare say, perfect. All right, Anton, score for you. Let's see, what would I do without you guys? I really don't. There's so much that one cannot know in any industry. So it really does take a village. There's a saying that I always liked when I was living in Hawaii, right? When I was studying in Hawaii. One of the sayings in Hawaiian was this thing. It's in English, basically, it says, all knowledge does not reside in one house, right? And which I always thought that was very apropos, in that no one person can hold all the knowledge. So you always had to work with multiple houses to learn a wider spread. And I always believe that. And then that also kind of, tied in with my college studies. I took a class for my senior thesis called historiography. And I just found the textbook the other day. But the historiography class was taught by one of my professors, Michael Pavkovich. And he was very much about, like, you want to study whatever you're studying for your term, for your thesis paper, you want to study the different schools of thoughts on that subject, not just to compare and to contrast, but also to review and synthesize, which is very much in line with this idea that not all knowledge resides in one house. And I think that's really important, so that, I even, no matter how long I've been in the business, I cannot know everything, right? So that's why we if you're watching YouTube and you're talking to people, you should be, watching a spectrum of people babbling on about whatever about coffee. And in turn, someone like myself, who is the babbler about coffee, eventually and inevitably has to learn from all of you, because you know things about coffee that I don't. You have experience in coffee that I don't, which is very much an important exchange, I think. So, like this, I would never have thought to use a 155 filter in this originally, So Anton's like, hey, try this. Or the Big Secret John is always like, you need to put ice in. Now he's changed it, right? So remember we had the big foaminess with the Kano now, and he was like, well, put the espresso in ice. We did that, still got big foam. And then his last comment was like, you need to put ice in the soda too. I was like, oh my gosh, man, you're always changing the goalposts. Anyway. Now, Kerry's saying, "Aohi pau ka ike ka halau ho'okahi," which I believe is the saying, right? That's the saying, right? Sorry, my Hawaiian has become very rusty, very rusty. Michael, good morning to you. And Devin, good morning to you as well. Okay, so we've got our filter, Kalita 155, instead of the Timemore, but is there really much of a difference? Now, let us compare, right? We're going to see here. Let us compare. I'm going to put my finger here, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 pleats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So they are 20 pleat filters. I wonder, are these guys just buying Kalita filters? I mean, they're fairly that's pretty much, that's kind of on the money there. Well, I mean, not that it's a bad thing, but if that's the case, these are much easier to source than these, and perhaps even cheaper than these. I did find a website online that one of the coffee companies had these for $9.50 for 100. I think these are $6.50. I don't know. Does it really matter? Does it really matter at that point? I can't say it does. Oh, yes, that is the same. Thank you. So sorry, Kilme. I remember the English translation better than I had. Ohipau ka ike ka halau ho'okahi. Halau meaning the house. I'm not going to try to remember. Pau is finished. Pau is finished, right? Like in Hawaii, when you're on, especially on Friday nights, it's Pau Hana time, which means finish work. Pau, finish. Hana, I think, means work. And on Friday nights, that's when you go out to drink after work. All right, so let's give it a try and see what happens with it. We're going to take our lovely fellow, turn it on. Fellow says hello. I guess we can, I always switch to the brew, to the wait mode, but I'm going to keep it here and see if we can just pour. It should just give us, right? Oh yeah, look at that. That's nice. We're going to go straight to 24 grams. 23.9. Anton says, you had me confused for a moment. The stream was scheduled for the 15th. Really? My apologies. Sometimes I'm not so sharp on what I'm doing. I created the file for today's stream last night after I got back. It was probably like around past midnight, I think. So I may have made mistakes. So my apologies on that. My apologies. But this is all because of you now, by the way. This is all because of you and your admonitions about, oh, good Lord. Okay, so these things have very strong stickiness at the, I don't know what is at the bottom here. Let's look. This feces or whatever they have there, very sticky so that they want to skip there. It's really nice that it doesn't move, right? But to move it around, I'm not, instead of picking it up, I'm trying to drag it. Not the smartest way. Okay, so we're going to use the similar setting we've been using for the other pours, the center setting, which is whatever is in the middle. 6. And make sure, of course, that make sure that your container is empty of any excess coffee. Oh, God. Oh, that's not good. See, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't be foolish. Anton says, I would recommend rinsing them. Timemore should smell quite a bit stronger. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if both companies, depending on this country, sources paper filters from different factories. Okay, we will rinse. Anton says to rinse. We shall rinse with some water here. I do have some hot water ready to go, so let's just pour it out a little bit. I don't normally do this. This is kind of against my beliefs. But let us, speaking of which, now that we're done this, okay, now that we've rinsed it, the theory, of course, with rinsing is that you're rinsing out paper flavor, which should be contained in this water. And for good measure, we're going to rinse this out as well, give it a little bit of slosh to help remove any kind of potential paper taste that could be present in the carafe. Okay, so let's see. Is there paper taste there? Okay, we'll let that cool for a moment while that does its thing. Then we're going to taste that in a moment after it cools down a little bit. Okay, so let's grind up. We're going to spin this up. So violent. Oh, there's stuff still floating in there. Oh, it didn't clear out the last time. Hala. Do I smell anything? Make sure my hands don't smell. Oh, there could be something I could identify there that has maybe a papery smell. All right, let's grind. Oh. Oops. It's already, I missed it and it's already gone. Very, very fast, very fast. All right, so there's our brew, our grind. And we can put this in here like thus. But of course, these wings, which are nice, they always hold back. So you have to be a little bit more careful because there's always going to be some residual coffee left in there. And of course, I have now messed it up because I didn't tear the scale with this stuff in it. So, well, there it is. So what we're going to do instead is we're just going to use this. We're going to tear this out Oh, I don't know. We'll hit that. What happens here? Okay, now tear that out. Set that to timer. What I'm just going to do now is we're going to free pour it 350 grams of water, and then we're going to do, let me just get everything out of the way. Okay, there could be some smell. It could be a little bit drier, a little bit tannic. I'm going to let it cool down for a little bit longer and see what happens. I mean, do I smell anything? Maybe. I have to say maybe. That could mean that the filters I use could be quite different from yours. I mean, it could be. I mean, we're going to presume that Kalita 155 means Kalita 155 in most parts of the world, despite the fact that we kind of know that there are different paper manufacturing for Hario V60 filters. We'll just have to kind of make an assumption. Michael says, yeah, that paper smell is pretty strong for Kalita. I mean, I do. I was making bacon and eggs earlier, so I don't know how much of that is my hands, but I think that lick the paper for reference. Just kidding. You should say that, JK, because I will do it. I will. From the filter, it's quite intense right during the rinsing for me. Okay. I have to go now. Exams tomorrow morning. Good luck. Good luck to you in the exams. Hope you do well. And then Anton says maybe the filters are really different depending on location. That always could be. The smell for me is so strong. I rinse until it stops smelling. And in empty heads, I smell. And that's what I smell. Like, it's terrible. Okay, so let us continue on. We're going to use a different scale. We're going to use the old traditional Hario Buono scale for our brewing. It does get in the way of smelling the coffee, doesn't it? It's terrible. Where are we with this thing? Okay, there. Put that right there. I've got the water at pretty much a rolling boil. I'm going to pour the water into the kettle. All right, here we go. We're going to add the, what is that? What is going on here? It already started. Start. Tear again. Oh. Okay, good. That works. Okay, here we go. All right, now we're rolling. 42 grams we put in there. I think what I need to do with this camera that's above is to change the settings. Get us, because see how there's a nice sharp here? You really can't, it's really fuzzy here because I've got a very shallow depth of field. So what I need to do is boost the ISO to make it more light sensitive and then step down the iris, the f-stop, or increase the f-stop so that, which means it gets smaller, right? That way you get greater depth of field and I don't have to worry so much about the focusing, and it should bring everything into focus. Anton says, yeah, we should do a paper tasting where we eat the filter. Real hardcore coffee news won't check it. Absolutely. You're only hardcore if you eat the paper. So 1 minute, 15 seconds, 142 grams. It is a pretty looking kind of setup, isn't it? This smoked color is really quite nice. like, for example, one of the things that happens with the clear, like translucent, the transparent plastics are always really cool, right? Especially with like this many facets in it with the ribbing, it could get more refraction. However, the problem over time that I've found with plastic brewers is that they will get to become translucent, scratched, and whatever. And so they start to become dull and translucent instead of transparent. Like if you look at I have a bunch of these Clevers that are pretty old and very well used. And, you know, they're not as pretty as when they're new. So that's one thing I like about this one is that even as it ages, because it's smoked, you won't really notice the aging of the plastic or the translucency of the plastic as much. Empty Head says your focus distance can do the same. Really? I will have to play with that more. I'll play with it more. I'm really not playing too much with the settings on the cameras. Although I did have somebody make a comment on one of the videos about that I think I like, that he thinks that I like video production more than I like making the videos or something like that. I was kind of laughing. I was like, yeah, that's true. Increase the distance from the focal plane to the focal point. Oh, well, the problem is that we are pretty much, I can't raise the camera any higher. That's one of the bigger, that's an issue because there is a bulkhead above the bar that we have here. And that bulkhead is, I mean, it's pretty much against the bulkhead at this point. So I cannot go any higher with it. 3 minutes, 27 seconds. We're going to go right to our target number, 350 now. 350. Ooh, right on the money. Look at that. Right on the money. Anton says that just means they are wise and old. True. And then Devin uses a cloth filter, and he doesn't want the cloth. That would not be as much as nice. Karen says, try change to F8. That may work. Yes, I will. I will definitely work on that because well, one of the things I think I have this camera. I'm almost positive I have this camera set to wide open, which on this particular lens, this is the. I'm using the Sony a6000. So it's a pretty old camera now. I got it used, but it came with the kit lens, the 16 to 50 millimeter, 3.5, 5.6 lens, which for this application, I think works very well. And what you're seeing here is wide open at 3.5. It's probably set to, it's either set to 100 or 125 or 400 ISO. So what I'll probably do is boost it higher so that I can go up to 11 or F8 or 11. And then, because the distance between the cameras actually, from the distance to the counter, from the front of the lens is actually this big. That's exactly how much space I have, so. Empty Head asks, is it interchangeable lens camera? It is. The A6000 is a APS-C Sony E-mount camera, so you can change the lens. It's very similar in that respect to the camera that this is on. This is now the Sony ZV-E10, and I'm running actually the Sigma, the YouTubers' favorite, right? This is the lens that YouTubers love. The Sigma 16 millimeter f1.4. I just have it. I was never really that interested in it, but then they had it at my camera shop used for maybe $150, and I was like, well, all right, I'll give it a try because I saw these YouTubers raving about it for vlogging. But honestly, you know what? When I compared to the camera that I normally use for vlogging, for travel, even this is too big. I see all the YouTubers out there with it, but I'm just like, that's just too. I don't want to carry that. I don't want to carry multiple lenses. I already carry multiple bodies and I carry a whole kit, but I'm able to put it in a little tiny sling bag. So anyway. Anton says, I think what's interesting about these small brewers is to make recipes with low dose and yields. Oh, I like that. I like that idea. And I frequently make 10 gram, 150 milliliters, and it tastes good. We should try that. Already at wide angle. Yeah, so this one, No, actually, this camera, the above camera, this is actually, yeah, this is 50 millimeters. So this is 50 millimeters, which in an APS-C sensor is closer to like 80, 82, 85 millimeters. So it's fairly, actually, this is zoomed all the way. This one is zoomed all the way in, so we get this nice tight. Now, if I zoomed it all the way out, I pulled out, this is how much you'd see. You get to see my tummy here, which I don't like, the floor, and you can see the switcher that I use. So most of the time, we're running it here or fully all the way in. Peter, kia ora to you, my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, so we're finished our brewing. We've been talking a long time. Let us go, and we just kind of dump that out. We'll give it a quick rinse. I really need to get a better trivet. This is really not very conducive for using as a kettle holder. And then let's go back to our, turn that off. Oh, this is, of course, the House Nation from Brew Coffee, my house coffee. So just a nice, hopefully chocolatey, kind of rounded, good body coffee. Accentuated bitter notes today. Like a really dark, like 80% cacao, dark chocolate kind of thing. Yeah, the bitter is a little bit good body. Medium. The sweetness is growing as it lingers on the palate. The sweetness grows on the palate. It's nice and meaty and weighty, like it's got good body. I like it. I like it. I should have had some I do. I'll be right back. Give me a moment. I have something to share with you. And I totally forgot about it till just this moment. So I'm going to walk out of audio range, I think. But I'll be right back. Although I am curious to know, I'm going to keep talking because I want to know how far away can I get. So I'm walking around, going to get what I wanted to have. I think it's going to be a really nice pairing to go with our coffee today. So I'm coming back. I wonder if we ever lost any connection. All right, almost there. All right, so this past week, I mentioned I was out with some friends, or did I mention that? So Saturday, I told my nephew that I would take him to this thing called the White Rose Game Room show in York, Pennsylvania. And we went there, had a great time. Pinball machines, arcade games. Just you pay $15 or $15 for adults, $5 for kids. So I paid $20. You go in and you play to your heart's content all day long. Fantastic. So afterwards, we went out to dinner. And then my friend's like, hey, man, I'm in town from Atlanta. My friend's from Atlanta. He's like, I'm in town, man. We're hanging out for Aisha's birthday. And I was like, all right, I'll come down. So we had cigars at the Tobacco Leaf in Jessup, so quite a long drive. And so I got there a little bit later, and they were passing out cake. And I was so full. I was like, I can't eat this. I can't eat it. So here it is. This is birthday cake for Aisha. Happy birthday, Aisha. So this is a chocolate cake. And I thought, you know what? I thought when I got home Saturday, I'm going to save it for today. Forgot all about it till I was just drinking this, and I was thinking, we need to have something together for that. Empty Head says there's some great landscape photography done with infinite focus distance with just 5.6. Oh, nice. We'll do more with that. Well, the nice thing is that it's not limited to 5.6. I think it goes up to at least 16, maybe 22. It's just, of course, the 5.6 is the minimum or the widest opening when you're zoomed in. Higher Fs and MTSS higher Fs are just diffract light too much. Gotcha. And Keone says to Peter, Ke te peheo koi. Koi? Nice. All right, so let us try this cake. I don't know the origin of the cake. I know nothing about the cake other than it's chocolate, and I really would like to have eaten it on Saturday night. However, I was so full from dinner. We went to a place called Cafe Compli here in Baltimore. Really nice. Okay, so it's got, the frosting. I did just kind of wrap it. The frosting looks like it might have taken a little bit of a beating, maybe more from just being sandwiched between two plates. Actually, that looks pretty good. All right, let's try it. Oh, it's unfortunately, I just pulled it out of the fridge, so it's a little bit hard. Probably not as moist as it was Saturday night. Not bad. I think it's a homemade cake. One of the girls made it for Aisha. I'm digging it. Coffee and cake, you want one too? You're in Bangkok, I know there's got to be a place open right now you can run out to and get some cake and coffee in the big city. So, Keone, I have a question for you since you're in Thailand. Do you have a favorite kaprao place? While I was there, I went to, Mark Wiens, the YouTuber? He has a place there called Ped Mak. And so I was like, oh, I'm just going to go check it out. I wanted to check it out because I do like the work that he does. I do enjoy his YouTube videos. And I went to have the Pad Kaprao there, which was fine. Not the best I've ever had, but fine. Well, what I was curious about is where do you normally go for? Do you have a favorite? And then also, here in Baltimore, where I live, if you go to Thai restaurants and you ask for the kaprao, you get something kind of different. There's no egg. Like, they just don't put the egg. And I had arguments with people about it. I'm like, they're like, we don't even do that. There was one guy was like, we don't even do that in Thailand. And I was like, and I looked at him like, dude, are you kidding me? Everywhere that I've been in Thailand did it without me asking. And you tell me I have to ask for it. And then some are wet. They don't come with rice. You have to order the rice separately and pay extra. You're like, what? And I'm paying $15 already for this dish, and it has no egg. It has no rice. It's very, very distressing. Peter says, too late for coffee. Sorry, I know it's late for you guys. Early for me. Well, not so early. After this, I'm going to do some more roasting. But Peter did make a London Fall Girl. You're excellent. Hope it turned out well. All right, well. Oh. I would say that there probably is a difference. Maybe you're right. I think you guys are right. Kalita filters need to be rinsed. We may have to do another redux of our paper filter tasting that I did a couple years back. Mako's here. What's up, Mako? How are you, man? Good to see you. Any recommendations for really good restaurant near downtown Baltimore? It can be whatever, fine dining, casual, etc. Ooh. What is good in Baltimore? So Cafe Compli, Abruzzi, food from the Abruzzi region. Very nice. We had a really nice meal. I had this, they had a special bronzino, kind of like steamed or whatever, but really, really well done. My sister-in-law had this kind of like lemony, nutty dish. Everything we had was really quite good at Cafe Compli. That's in the Hamilton district. It kind of depends what you're looking for. I would steer away from a lot of the touristy places like Lexington Market. Like, there's a place called Fadley's Seafood. You come to Baltimore, everyone, including Baltimore people, will tell you go to Fadley's. I'm going to be the one to tell you not to go there because prior to the pandemic, I went there. I brought some friends who were visiting from Hawaii, right? They were like, we're visiting Hawaii, what's the greatest? I said, let's go to Faley's. They're really the classic Baltimore crab cake institution. And the service was just so atrocious. Like I was just like, I was embarrassed. Like I was embarrassed to bring them there. And like, I was just like, I'll never come back here again. So there are other places if you want crab cakes. Jimmy's Seafood is very well regarded, a little bit further outside the center of the city, depending where you're staying. There's a group called the Foreman Wolf Group. They are very much probably the best in fine dining here in Baltimore. They have a place called the Charleston, very like multi-course tasting menu. Chingale is kind of a wine osteria, enoteca. There's actually quite a lot of food places. My friend runs Woodbury Kitchen. The food market, of course, is very good in Hamden. It kind of depends what you're looking for. We've got a place called Matthew's Pizza over on Eastern Avenue that has these kind of thick, deep dish pizzas. They're not like Chicago pizzas. They're kind of their own weird little anomaly. That's very good. If you want more of the New York style pie, and they start out as a Neapolitan place, which I prefer. Now they're more of a New York, and the pizza's still very good as a New York style, but really the New York style with deck ovens was so much more easier for them to run their operations. So they really kind of gravitated away from their big Naples style ovens, wood-fired ovens. A place called Paulie G's. That's always solid. They did, because of the move away from the wood-fired ovens, they did take away my favorite pizza, which was called the Stinger Bell, which was a cheese pizza that had really, really thinly sliced lemons and drizzle of hot pepper honey. Man, so good. That's my favorite. What else is there to do here? There's a lot. Let me know as we get closer to your trip. Let me know when you're going to be arriving. We can help figure out some places you like and what you kind of preferences in places that you have. If you're staying in the harbor, there's a lot of chain places. I'd stay away from a lot of those. If you're staying down in the harbor area and you want breakfast, there's a place called Werner's, Werner's, Great little diner for breakfast. Been there since like the 1920s or 1910s or whatever it is. Very easy to walk to there. So outside of that, it's mostly places like the Kona Grill or Sullivan's Steakhouse, which I went to one time. I sat for like half an hour and nobody even came to approach me. I was like, I'm out of here. The harbor place is just a total disaster now. Down further, you got places like Phillips Seafood and like all these like Fogo de Chão and more, and nothing to my Shake Shack, to me, nothing worthwhile visiting on the harbor strip. Little Italy has a lot of nice little shops. Harbor East has fancier places. If you like Patagonia, there's a Patagonia store here that has an outlet. They're always like cheap Patagonia stuff on sale, so that could be worth going to. Peter says Thai crispy fried egg. Yeah, that's what you need. Thai mother, you need to have that fried egg. And these Thai people are telling me that they don't do that. And I was like, I have to special order the egg. And then the prao is like saucy. And there's no rice. I have to order rice separately. Son of a gun. What in the world? I was like, what are you talking about? I said, what are you talking about? Maybe because I'm having street food kind of in a sit-down restaurant. That could be. Mako says, my girlfriend is there right now and trying new restaurants is one of her hobbies, so I wanted to give her some recs. Message me on Instagram, and I'll be figuring that out more. Onocoffee with the number 4. Peter has to do some roasting. Excellent. Good luck in that too. Keanu says, there are a couple places, some street places next door order Padka Prao Kai Dao. Oh, Kai Dao is Friday. Oh, next time order the Padka Prao Kai Dao. I wish I didn't have to specify that. I mean, do you have to specify that when you order there? I'm curious. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the one that's wrong. I mean, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Anton says, since we're talking about filters, I don't remember who it was, but someone found out that depending on where from the stack you take the filter, the filtration is different. It can be better or... Man, who is that? My gosh, they're just making it more difficult. I don't know. So somewhere in the stack, it's going to make a difference. Very interesting. I don't know what that's all about. Yeah, just check out those places, Maku. Then, if not, we can figure out better things for you to try out. Just kind of what you're interested in. And message me. We'll figure that out. Let me know where in town she lives, and does she have a car? Can she get around relatively easily? Otherwise, we can help to try to figure that a little bit better. All right. Well, that's pretty much it for today. Back again tomorrow with more coffee Q&A. So 10 a.m. Eastern. Hope you guys have a wonderful day out there or evening. And Q&A says there are a few good Thai restaurants in the U.S. and none that I know of in the East Coast. No, they usually serve with rice and an egg, though some places ask kaidao. And then Anton says it's not practical to know that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what we're gonna do with that. Like, am I supposed to hunt down the center? Like, who is this guy? Let's out. I want you to out him so we can talk about him. I just wonder, gosh. Sometimes I wonder, do we delve too far into it and find theories that may or may not necessarily make a difference? I don't know why. I don't know how paper that's manufactured in bulk, then stamped, then formed, then stacked. I'm not clear. I'm curious. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not. I'm like, something that's going to be in the middle of this stack is going to have a different response and the way that it performs to brew your coffee than something that is not. That's interesting. Interesting to explore. Yeah, on the East Coast, there's a one or two places in Baltimore that are pretty good. They kind of tailor it down, so it's not so great. I like the one in Vegas. What's that place in Vegas? The Lotus of Siam. That's a good one. Peter says Kai is chicken. Oh, right. Kai Dao chicken, the egg, right? That was the egg. And Empty Head says it's possible how the filters are manufactured. Okay. And Anton says if you like experiments, get a dental oscillator, vibration plate, and vibrate espresso. It improves the taste and texture. Also works on filter, I think. This was proven to work, but obviously people found it ridiculous. Speaking of which, I was actually bidding on one of those oscillators on a recent medical laboratory auction. But unfortunately, I was training that week, so with the girls, so I wasn't able to monitor the actual auction when it went off. So I missed out on a bunch of those oscillating stirrers, the vibratory stirrers. There was also a couple plate stirrers that I wanted to try to bid for, and a couple of temperature control baths, but was not able to get those, sadly. Empty Head says if it's stamped in a stacked can, causes internal stresses on the paper. Really? Wow. That's amazing. Not unlike stamping metals. I had no idea. I had no idea that could happen. So when people manufacture, let's say those big rolls of metal, there can be, I guess it makes sense because those are tons in weight. So those can compress the steel even more in the roll. Wow, things you just never think about. Peter says maybe is Guy. Oh, Guy is egg. Okay. Keone says Lotus of Siam is the best we went to. Guy is egg. Guy is chicken. Kai is egg. Guy is chicken. Gotcha. Yeah, Lotus, man. Lotus. Like the fried fish they have there. Oh, my gosh. I kind of like the original restaurant better than the new one, but only because the new one's so huge. It's so, but at least you can be seated right away, and almost regardless of how busy they get. There's some really good food in Vegas once you leave the Strip, and there's good food in the Strip, but it's geared towards tourism. But yeah, Lotus. I used to love going to a place in Kaneohe called Chao Phraya Thai, which was right down from the street from Hawaii Loa. So I would go there like once a week. I don't know where that fits in the whole scale of things, but I always enjoyed eating there. I just love their food. And I was surprised that they're still there. And I wasn't able to go the last time I was in Honolulu. I was like, I actually haven't been there in like 20 plus years. The next time I go, I'm going to go and have, if they're still open, hopefully they'll be still there. And, even though that, what's the name that had the other place? Keo's. And even though this wasn't necessarily I don't think it was necessarily a real Thai dish, as even my friends were telling me. But I must say, I did enjoy that Evil Jungle Prince, which was some kind of like beef salad with basil. I thought that was pretty good. Empty Head says the stamping causes internal stress in the metal depending on the stamp shape. Oh. And Peter says Thai language is full of intonations. Yeah, it's very interesting. I don't know much about Thailand, but just to hear my friends and speak, it's just so interesting. It sounds so textured with their way they pronounce things. Empty Head says, like flat bottom filters, you can be sure that the hard corner that defines the flat bottom on the filter has more stress applied versus the ruffles on the filter. Oh. Wow, man, these are things that I just don't think about. And Kiona says that Tai Lao is a good restaurant in Oahu. Oh, that's relatively newer. And by relatively newer, I mean like after 1996. I'll have to try that out. Anton says, can't believe you actually tried to get oscillators. Oh, yeah, I got all. I'm always trying to buy like weird things. Like I actually been using, I started using, what is it called? The anti-griddle from Polyscience many, many years ago. Like I remember when I read about it somewhere. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to order one. So I looked them up, I called them up, and I started buying from them. I bought the anti-griddle, I bought some circulators. I've got one of these thermal bath units that like will chill and heat. Philip Preston, the owner of Polyscience, is actually a friend of mine. We've known each other for like, I don't know, a good 15 plus years. We'd go out to eat whenever we're in the same town. So really, 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 yeah, I like that weird stuff, man. It's just like, because I wonder, like, how can we utilize certain things maybe to help enhance the experience? And, I wonder what makes me wonder, like, let's say that little vibratory pump that you're talking about, right? Or the oscillating, and it was test tubes, right? The one that at least I was going to bid on. I was thinking, like, you could take that little oscillating thing and put the cup on it, and it would oscillate it. And I'm presuming that the way that it oscillates would do a different, perhaps a more even mixing of the espresso than just stirring. Is that the theory? I'm not really sure what the theory is. I don't even know that theory. I was just thinking I'm just going to buy it and like play around with it. Oh, Maku says, wow, man, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I really enjoy the downtown cocktail room in downtown Vegas. Ooh, I have not been there yet. I would like to, I will have to check that out the next time I am on Vegas, probably in April. Well, thank you very much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. And then Empty Head says finite element analysis on paper for filter manufacturing. Good Lord. Empty Head, what is it that you do in real life? And then Anton says that the dental oscillator is a plate that vibrates. Ah, okay. I mean, that's what it was. The one that I was looking at was made by, I forgot the name of that company, but I think it looks about this big, the base. And then it has this like rubber kind of like cup thing. And this one's designed, I think, for test tube. You put the test tube on it and it does its oscillation thing and mixes whatever happens to be in the test tube. And then there was one of the stirring plates, the magnetic stirrers. I like the idea of magnetic stirrers, but like, I think that guests would be a little bit weirded out if I put this, like, this little pill inside their drink and it spun around and I had to fish it out later. I don't know if people would be down with that. All right. Time to go roast coffee. Thank you very much for tuning in. Back again tomorrow with more coffee Q&A. Peter says, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. If you're interested, look for plate stirrers. Scientific plate stirrers. That's kind of will give you in the right direction. If you're interested, if you go to Timemore, they even have like Vivor brand stuff that is relatively affordable. If you get the real stuff like the Fisher Scientific and all that kind of stuff, they're wildly expensive. Oh, thank you, Michael. All right, so we're going to head out. Great to see all of you guys. Have a wonderful evening, whether you're in Germany or Asia or here in the United States. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate you. And back again tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. Hope to see you then. And yes, get the plate stirrers. That's not helping. We'll do better. We'll do better next time.